Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I have another vintage block for you. Today it is the Churn Dash block, and I made mine out of blues and yellows. Now Churn Dash is a block that goes together really quickly. You only have 4 half square triangles and they're a large size, so you can make them with the 2 at a time method. It goes together really quickly. This is a good beginner block. If you mastered doing things like 4 patches and 9 patches, this would be a good one to start next, to try next, because you only have the 4 half square triangles and you don't have any points to match. So I hope you'll stay with me, and I'll show you how to make a Churn Dash block. Here are the fabrics you're going to need to make a Churn Dash block. For A, you're going to need 4 2.5-inch squares. For B, you need 2 5-inch squares. For C, you need 2 5-inch squares, and D is 5 2.5-inch squares. Now on these C squares, you're going to want to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side from corner to corner, because we're going to make half square triangles with the C squares, or the B squares with these. So we're going to put the B's and the C's together, and we're going to start off making half square triangles, and then we'll put the block together. Okay, so I'm going to make half square triangles with my C and my B squares, and this will give us 4 half square triangles with the 2 sets here. So I'm going to take one and put them right sides together, and then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch away from both sides of this drawn line. So I just want to make sure everything is lined up. You can pin these together if you want. And I'm going to use a 2.0 stitch length, and I'm just using this is Signature Parchment, and it's a text 40. This is what I use in my long arm out of 50 weight thread. So we're going to use just a regular weight thread, and this is a 100% cotton thread. Swing that around and sew on the other side. Okay. Now you can use a rotary cutter or a pair of scissors, and you're going to cut on the line you drew. And then you'll have 2 half square triangles. So here's one, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same sewing for the other set, and then I will press and trim it down. These need to measure 4.5 inches unfinished, so that's why I cut all the pieces 5 inches, because they'll be a little bit oversized, but it's not wasting a lot of fabric. So I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to turn these all over onto the dark side because that's the way I want to press them. So I'm just going to press them flat and then press them open. And I'm not using steam here. I used to use steam quite a bit, but I find with this wool mat, it just took a little while to kind of break it in. And now I don't feel like I need steam anymore. It just is working really well. So if you have a wool mat and it's new and it isn't working the way you think it should, just give it a little time, and I think something happens to these mats over time, and I think they get better the more you use them. But you know, I don't feel like I need a clap or anything to make these flat. They're just nice and flat. So anyway, here are half square triangles. And now I'm going to trim them down. Okay, so now these need to measure 4.5 inches. So I'm going to, I have a little 5-inch ruler here, and I'm going to line this side and the bottom at the 4.5-inch mark. And the diagonal line is going to go right along that seam line. Now, if it's not quite square, like mine isn't quite square here and here, I'm going to follow this line because I know that's a true line. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these two edges. And then I'm going to turn it. And this should take care of the problem here. Okay. There we go. So now I have a 4.5-inch half square triangle. So I'm going to repeat this with the other 3, and then I'll be ready to lay out the block and sew it into rows. Okay, so now I need to take my A squares and my D squares, and I need to make sets of 2. I need to make 2 sets of 2. So there will be 1 extra of the background square. So I'll just put the right sides together and sew with a 1/4 inch. So I'm making 4 sets of 2 here, and I'm just going to chain piece them together. Cut them apart, and then I'm going to press towards the yellow fabric. Okay, now I'm ready to lay out the pieces. And what happened to that one? Okay, so the half square triangles go in the corners, and they are separated by the 2 patch pieces. So just go like this, and the half square triangles point towards the center. So this is an easy block. This is one of the first blocks that I learned to make, other than a 9 patch. I think I did a 9 patch, and then I did a churn dash. And that one goes in the center. And here we go. There's the churn dash blocks. So I'm going to sew all of the pieces into rows, and then sew all the rows together. Okay, so I'm going to press the seams flat, and then I'm going to press towards the outside because that's kind of the path of least resistance. Now you can press these open. You can press them to the other side if you want. There's, you know, no law here. It's just whatever you think is going to work best for you. So here we go. Okay, so here is the Churn Dash block. Okay, well that is it for the Churn Dash block. I think this one turned out really nice. This one you can make into a scrappy quilt with all different colors. You can use alternate blocks. You can set them side by side. You can separate them with sashing. You can put them on point if you want. So here's what it would look like on point. It gives you a completely different look, doesn't it? As opposed to this. So you might want to try that. Try putting them on point for a different look. So if you enjoyed this video, please click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.